you and I think we may differ a little bit on our how we would approach this topic. I have a great amount of sympathy for the immigrants, and I know that not everybody shares that. And so, but I feel like I want to acknowledge the fears and the feelings of the people who are saying, this is too much, this is too much, and there is this fear, and it's not entirely unfounded. This fear about these people competing for the same jobs that I want to have, and they're competing for the housing, which is a huge issue here in Denver. And people are already having trouble finding housing, and they see all these immigrants coming in and wondering, is this going to make it even worse and harder to find housing? There's competition for government services. They're fearful about increased crime. So, I mean, that has to be acknowledged, even for somebody like myself who's kind of, I don't know that I would say I'm pro-immigrant, but I certainly have a lot of compassion for immigrants. I don't exactly feel the need to, build the wall and so forth to keep them all out. But I do acknowledge that there are these fears, and some of them are well-founded fears.
Yeah. No, I don't necessarily see us disagreeing on, the particular issue. Maybe the starting point of where we would, like to talk about the issue or feel comfortable. But I think for me, my desire is to stand in the truth of the gospel, the truth of Christ. And so our Catholic faith is so beautiful and wonderful to help us, to face any issue as a nation, as an individual, to conquer, some of these moral issues that we're facing. And so the way that I've kind of framed it in my own mind, where maybe, people that I tend to agree with, where their starting point might be is in more defense of the common good or the nation. And that's kind of primarily their stronghold. I, spent time as a chaplain in the military. So I know lots of first responders. I know lots of police officers. I know lots of maybe more traditional families that maybe see eye to eye with me. But that doesn't mean, I can't start at a different starting point. And so the tension in my head is, balancing the common good of the nation versus the individual right and the dignity of each person. And so, but I believe our Catholic Church teaching gives us so much theological wisdom to help us navigate the tension between those two starting points.